Oh, all right. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and enemies. This is our first tip is character generation. Character generation, well known in Traveler. Traveler is known as the game that you can die during character generation, so no secrets there. It's a very important part of the game. It's a very character-driven game, you could say. So how can you use character creation to fuel your campaign and to help your campaign? Well, you've got to ask yourself a few different questions here. What kind of campaign are you running? And will doing character creation or character generation, I should say, differently help you or hinder you in what you're trying to accomplish overall? So the obviously the first thing is, what kind of campaign are you running? Are you running a naval campaign where all the characters are in the Imperial Navy? Are you running a scouts campaign? Are you running just a regular old traveler campaign where there's a trade ship or a freighter and everybody's just working on it? Or are you doing like a space station campaign or a colony campaign? Whatever kind of campaign you are going to do is going to greatly change how you should do character generation. So Traveler has the prescribed method, which is group creation, which is incredibly helpful for new players, new groups, new referees who are just getting into the game, and as well as it can help you create characters that all know each other from the get-go, which if that's what you want, it'll give you that. It'll give you characters everybody knows who everybody else is and they're familiar with them, and this is the core group where we are all already friends. However, if you want to do it a little bit differently, if you wanted to go for perhaps a little bit more of a paranoia driven campaign, maybe some players with some secrets or some abilities that they don't want the other players to know about, then maybe solo character generation is what is best for you and your group. Uh, so think a little bit about what you are trying to accomplish as a referee here and the story that you're trying to tell, and how the way that you choose to roll characters for your campaign could affect that or be affected by that. So character creation on top of that, character creation in Traveler, character generation, I should say, generates such a beautiful backstory. Really, like tapestries for these characters of different things that they've done in their lives, that they've accomplished, that they've failed to accomplish, strengths, weaknesses. Really, one of the better character generators for like fully fleshed out, ready to play characters with contacts and enemies and friends and just good stuff. So use that. Use all the info from their backstory in your campaign. Just because it happened to them previously doesn't mean it's not going to happen again or keep happening or be part of a cycle or be part of just some things that they're going to have to answer for later on in the campaign. You it's up to you as the referee to decide how these things are going to come into play in your storyline, but as the referee you have to understand that these aren't your storylines, they're the player's storylines. You're just taking part in them, or giving life to them, I should say. Anyway, so that's it for tip one, character creation. Let's go ahead and jump over here to tip two. All right, so tip number two here is a new one for me as a referee, but it is a character history Excel table that one of my players threw up onto the Discord for this new campaign. With the current year up at the top, everybody puts their history in. I'm going to show you what this thing looks like here in just a moment. Once I get it opened up, I just updated my computer, so everything's just running a bit slow. But what this allows you to do is to come up with a really detailed backstory for not only just your players, but for the system that they're playing in, and then the way that their life events play off of each other. So let me see if I can. I believe it'll be in the character section, but it's actually in the homebrew section. Here we are. I'm going to just throw it up here, and we'll see what we can do. Alright. So here's my campaign, Travelers of the Trojan Reach, Strange Eons. And here's that Excel sheet. Cool. So hopefully we can. Yeah, there's my email address. Please don't message me. These are all my players up here at the top, and I'm gonna need my glasses to see this properly. And so we've got the current year here, 1105. I've made a couple notes for the current year for some of these players, but yeah, these are all of my players, and these are all of their major history events. And so right here, we have one player who has a major life event, and because I'm the referee, I know that this major life event takes place on Wildeman, which is a planet in the Trojan Reach. Now, a few other characters had joined the Naval Academy around the same time period, or experienced major political unrest on Wildeman, as this character right here. So Belter involved in minor accident. I know that character's from Wildeman, and they're a Belter on Wildeman. So these all tie together really, really well in this timeline. So I've come up with this major plot thread of there being like a major Belter strike and subsequent insurrection that was quelled by the Imperium. And that's going to be a major plot point in, the future of this campaign. And one of the only reasons I was able to put this together is because I saw how these dates lined up across that screen. I'll get rid of this for now. But so that's tip number 2. Come up, get something together like this. Whether you're doing group or solo character generation, get an Excel sheet, use it for your character histories, and help not only just to help your characters make the connections that will give them bonus skills, but to help you learn the way that all of these histories are interconnected in the sector that your players are from. It's going to be a huge boon to your story writing ability at the table and to your verisimilitude in your Traveler universe. So that's important as well. Very important, I would say. Verisimilitude is the fuel that runs adventures. So that's my second top tip, is learn to use Excel or Google Sheets or whatever and make a shared document so that your players can fill their backstory in. Side tip. All right, bonus side tip. I've come up with a chart where each player rolls a d6 and it either increases or lowers their age by 1 to 3 years randomly. 1 is +1, 2 is +2, 3 is +3, 4 is -1, 5 is -2, 6 is -3. Whatever you use is fine. I just reuse a d6. You may even want to give them a chance that there's no aging change, but I do this so that the age rolls that they have to make in game, which I also have them roll a d365 with a dice roller to determine their random birthday every year, so that we know when the aging crises come into play, and it's not all going to be everybody at once in 1 year, which makes no sense. Excuse me. It's going to be like real life. It's going to be very simulationist, which I think Traveler is all about, and that kind of goes into this Excel sheet as well, as figuring out how all these things line up. Last thing about this sheet. It's important to know, I don't know if I can bring it up again, but it's important to know that each one of those events takes place over the span of 4 years, so it's not so. It's not like there's a lot of these like blank areas in between. Those aren't so much blank areas as they are like continuations of this event happened somewhere in this timeline. So you do have a lot of wiggle room to work with, which makes it all the better, even a better tip than it was before. Let's move on to tip number 3. That's right. My number 3 tip is traveler tools. What are traveler tools? Why haven't you been using them? Well, that's a great question to ask your own self. Uh, Traveler tools. I'm just gonna go here to the Google and pull these up for you all right now. Traveler tools is the thing that I use to run and power my campaigns. And it's Traveler with 2 L's tools. And boom, travelertools.azure websites, everything you'd ever want. Uh, Here it is. I'm gonna see if I can increase the size here. Oh, I can. There, that should be readable. All right, so this is going to generate literally everything you'd ever want to know about a planet. So for my campaign, we are going to be in the Trojan Reach. It is going to be subsector Tobia, and they're going to be on the world of Wilderman. Dun dun dun. Or you can enter your own custom info from a homebrew system that you have. It's a little more involved to enter all that stuff, but if you're doing a homebrew thing, this stuff works also. That's the point I'm trying to make. So then you enter your whichever character's got the broker score plus their int. You put their modifiers in here. Streetwise goes the same. Whoever's got the highest is what I usually do for the party. And then it's Mongoose 2nd edition. I usually do advanced mode, do a little raffle. I'll allow illegal goods if that's what they're looking for. And then I put in the jump distance, which for my campaign is going to be 2. This is all just going to be a... Now, shopping will generate a shopping list, which... you can... I believe... I could be wrong here. I believe you can also access the shopping info from the trade info I'm about to generate. So I'm just going to generate this out, and it gives you your little print off. You can permalink to this because it will be different every time you hit refresh, which is great. It's not going to be the same planet every 2 visits, which is even better. We got our remarks here. Shopping, here we go. So let's just do the shopping list first. We'll do the full list, and it's got everything that we can get here from the core catalog and more. Like, it's everything. But there are these availability rolls the players are going to have to make. But it looks like for the most part they're going to be pretty easy to acquire. Let's go back now to where we were at before, because this is that's cool and all. But anybody, any game referee worth their salt can come up with a shopping list for their players, right? This is just a way easier way to do it, and I highly recommend it. We've also got your berthing info at the high port and the down port, which is great per day, and just for docking, berthing wait times, refined fuel cost, unrefined fuel cost, fueling wait times, travel info to the jump point. They don't have the other stellar bodies in the system, but giving you an idea from the jump point, you'll start to understand. Also has a full list of all the other destinations that they could choose to jump to, as well as the trade goods that are available to purchase. This is for your speculative trading. You're buying low. This is all your info for buying low, and then here's all your info for selling high. That's right, you can sell whatever you want on the planet. They've got all their desired goods listed. And then here are the planetary info for the worlds that they may be going too. They can look up what their next jump's going to be based on this, as well as where their jump from that's going to be, and passengers who are willing to go there as well, along with freight, if any, and then a trade preview to give them an idea of what they'll be able to get and what that area wants. So this is really like when you arrive on a planet, or your travelers are going to sit down and start talking about like what their next move is going to be. This page will everything that you would want for that. If they're going to go shopping, if they're going to buy low, if they're going to sell high, if they're going to do anything other than something you wrote for their campaign, this is the way to do it. And on top of that, if you just want to do like a solo traveler campaign, which is also pretty popular to do, just playing by yourself, this is how you do it. If you want to run your own little trading fleet, this is a great way to do it. I cannot recommend Traveler Tools enough. Check them out. Traveler Tools, just Google it. It's the first result, or travelertools.azure websites. Is that what that said? azurewebsite.net. So check it out, please. Can't recommend it enough. Traveler Tools. And let's jump to the next one on this list. Let's jump to Traveler tip number 4. That's right. If you're a Traveler fan, if you've seen any of my other videos talking about Traveler, you probably already know this one. But if you don't, you gotta get up in here. Traveler map. This is what hooks a lot of people on the Traveler role-playing game system. It is a complete map of both the canon and implied systems in charted space. It's what makes Traveler one of the biggest role-playing games. It's what makes the third Imperium setting one of the single largest role-playing settings in the hobby. Period. I don't care what anybody says. Just shut them up. Shut them down. The way this game works, the way that they generate planets is so easy and so memory and page effective that you can really make a massive freaking game yourself, or you could use this pre-made one. Let's go ahead and just jump over to it. This is the Traveler map. I'm going to be showing you how its basic functionality works, and then I'm going to be jumping a little bit some of the more detailed things you may not know. So we're going to keep zooming in here to Earth. Every dot on this map is not a planet, but is a solar system with multiple worlds. And I'm going to zoom in on the one that we already know, the one we're already familiar with, Terra, aka Earth, right next door to Prometheus, also known as Alpha Centauri. This is a Traveler map. This is what a map of a Traveler world looks like. I'm showing this one to you because it's the one you know about already. It's Earth, obviously. You got your Lagrange starports, your starport over here, your starport in the middle. We got it all. Let's jump over here to Prometheus. Now, Prometheus is we generate a world map over here. It doesn't have one listed like Earth did because it has to be generated based on its planetary info. But we click on that, and it starts to render. Oh, this is working a little differently, and boom. We've now got a map of Prometheus, along with some pretty detailed. So the reason this planet looks so weird is it doesn't rotate. So it's probably just completely tidally locked with its sun. So you've got one half of the planet that is baked dry, and then you have the other side of the planet that is totally frozen solid, and then you have these little strips in the middle where there's an ocean. Like, it's temperate, which you love to see it. And you can use this for adventuring. Like, why wouldn't you use this for adventuring? It's got all the terrain info you need. It's got just about all the info you'd want. I think it even tells you how your scale. Yeah, each hex is 1,000 kilometers. So there's a lot for you to work with here, right? Well, what if you're gonna say, like, you're gonna look at me and you're gonna say, but I don't want to play in the third Imperium setting. You know, why you're not helping me. This video doesn't help me because I don't want to play in this setting. Well, stop yelling at me for 2 seconds, and we're gonna go. Stop, stop yelling at me. Oh no, is it not? There used to be a way. Oh, it doesn't have my. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So they've changed this a little bit since I just updated my computer, so some of this stuff's a little bit different. But okay, all right, yeah, they did change this. They got all of this information in here now. Wow. All right, this is new to me. So wow, yeah, you're gonna get the rotational period, which is great. Like you didn't get all this stuff before. I was gonna show you how to generate all this stuff for yourself. But damn, yeah, no. So you're gonna get everything that you'd want to know about a main world, but you can also do systems actions. So you can regenerate the system or generate system for the new seed. This may just need to be looked at from Traveler Worlds. There it is. Okay. So this is Traveler Worlds. There's a new version right here. Oh, okay. All right. All right. This is a cool new version. I don't fully understand how this works. There's the full star system. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, you can generate the star system yourself. So this is the star system of this planet. So you can see the other planets here as well. And this goes back to my first video of if you're running a sci-fi campaign, you need at least 200 worlds. And if you don't have 200 worlds or you don't know how to get to 200 worlds, this is how you do it. Every system that every planet in Star Wars is in a system. And there's like 10 other planets in that system that you don't really hear about. Well, if you're doing a sci-fi role-playing campaign, start thinking about it. Because those other worlds are worlds of adventure. And quite a few of them. So as you can see, like, it doesn't look like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 solar bodies up in here, up in here. Look a little closer. Pernia, that first planet, has 2 moons. One of them is hospitable to human life, but has no planetary government whatsoever. That's pretty interesting. There's another one that's a big world. There are actually dozens of worlds, like at least a dozen, if not more worlds in the system because of all of the moons. And a moon is a solar body, and a moon can be a place to have an adventure. I don't know what other stuff. We got blank maps. Oh, you can generate blank maps if you're doing this solo. Okay, so they've done a lot of stuff here. They've changed this in the last couple days. Full star system, your preferences. Map. Oh, you can change the map colors. So yeah, you can do. Wow, you can do so much now. I wonder if you can finally generate a map of Wilderman. But that's beside the point. So you can also, at least with the way that this website used to work, you could also just input your own, like right here. There you go. You can enter your own info, your own map, your own stuff to generate all this stuff, all of this info from your own custom traveler map. If you have a custom traveler game that you're running, you can use this. And I believe, I could be wrong, that the Cepheus and Stars Without Number system are also like really adjacent and very closely compatible with the very basic 2d6 traveler system. So that right there. That was tip number 4. Traveler tools and traveler, or I should say, that was tip number 4. Traveler map. And I know it said tip number 3 on there again, but that was wrong. But so Traveler map powered by these Traveler worlds. I know they're Traveler 5 tools, but they will help you with your Mongoose Traveler games, your classic Traveler games, any Traveler games. Use this stuff to your advantage because it will pay dividends at the table when you can actually, like buy low, sell high, quickly without rolling on a million tables. I love Traveler, but it is a role playing game that how people played it before computers confuses me, and how people continue to play it without computers totally confuses me. But it's a great game to play online with these generators. So let's do our final Traveler tip here. Tip number 5. Tip number 5. Starship geomorphs. Now, if you're active on the Traveler Reddit, you've probably already seen posts about Starship geomorphs. Well, if you haven't, I recommend you check them out. They're not entirely vanilla Traveler, because there's escape pods and different things. But for the most part, this is one of the best map, and it's pay what you want on Roll20, so you can pick it up for next to nothing. But really, you should be paying $30 for this. This is incredible, an incredible tool for game masters and referees alike. So here's what we got: Starship Geomorphs 2.0. What are geomorphs? You're probably like, what the hell is this? So yeah, this is the basics. They are pre-designed deck plans that you can lay out and connect. You got some edge geomorphs, some corner geomorphs, some end geomorphs, and you can build a custom ship. And it has a bunch of ones already built. But beyond just a custom ship, it's got, all kinds of cool info and pre-made layouts. So this is just an example. But this thing is... Let's just start, you've got these big square ones. As you go further through, they have the end ones and the side ones. And these are better for more than just ships. These you can definitely use for spaceports and space stations. During my first game of my newest campaign, I use these geomorphs to build out a spaceport and pleasure dome, along with the lobby of a hotel. And I may or may not make one more map for some office spaces that I might have the players in, but I think I may just do something a little more sci-fi instead, as I no longer believe that office spaces are going to be really that necessary in the far future, let alone the near one. That being said, though, these geomorphs are incredibly useful. The only thing I do to them, besides I pull them into GIMP and I crop them and I stick them together in the way that I want them to be stuck together, and then I invert the color palette so that they're in dark mode, which I think looks a little more sci-fi. It looks a little cleaner, and is a lot easier on the player's eyes, which is always important. So yeah, let's just do a quick recap now. Oh, so yeah, these geomorphs, Starship geomorphs, one more time. Who made these? Where can you find? You can find these on Roll20. You can find these on RPG Drive-Thru and RPG Bookshelf. All those sites. It's not an official Traveler product, but I do want to give credit where credit is due. Robert Pierce. Edited by Ian McKinney. They've got they're on version 2.0 right now, which was released in July 26th of this year, 2020. So yeah, give it up for this guy, and give a look, give a gander at these, because if you just have some really some really minimal, like I can copy and paste an image onto another image, Photoshop skills, and that image is on a graph, you will be able to use these. But before we go, I'm going to do a quick recap now of my top 5 tips for your next Traveler campaign. Number 1, character creation. Are you going to do group creation or solo creation? Think about what kind of campaign you want to run for your party before you make this call. Tip number 2, get an Excel sheet and do all your characters' histories and use that to help you expand your knowledge of your Traveler universe. Use Tip number 3, use Traveler tools, which, please use Traveler tools. It's going to make buying and trading so much easier, as well as picking up passengers. And with a little trial and error, you can figure out how that whole system works, and you can really use it to your advantage at the table. Next up, Traveler Map, which if you're not using it, please use it. There is a way you can import your own custom Traveler sector into Traveler Map. I don't fully understand how to use it. There's also a way to like put minis up on the links that you can send somebody a link of the Traveler universe with their ship on the planet they're on, as well as so many features in Traveler Map that are so little utilized. And then finally, as also with the Traveler Map, using the Traveler 5 planetary generation tools, which just got an upgrade like today or yesterday, to generate the systems in your Traveler campaign and get yourself up to that 200 world mark that any good sci-fi campaign or story needs. And finally, the very, very final thing was the Starship Geomorphs, which I still recommend picking them up from RPG Drive-Thru. The Geomorphs are an excellent tool that you can use for building your own ships, custom ships, starports, space stations, compounds, just about anything. If you possess literally the bare minimum of Microsoft Paint level understanding of GIMP or Photoshop or even Microsoft Paint. You could probably use Microsoft Paint to make some dope geomorphs for your online group or your in-person group if you're so blessed to be able to do that right now. But anyway, that's it from me. As always, I've been Zach Lane, aka Judge Zed, aka Zacharias the Pious of House Lane, former Lord of Give a Shit Ashir, Harbinger of Sass, and Unholy Prince of the Sea of Ash, as well as Lord of the Game. And today that game has been Traveler, role-playing in the far future. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions you would like me to go over in a future video. And as always, thank you for commenting on my previous videos. Seriously, the comments that I get are really what keep me getting back in front of the camera and recording more about the stuff I like to talk about. So thank you all so much, and I will be seeing you all real soon.